Hello everybody! Welcome back to some more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Today we're heading back into the game and we are not playing battle mode because in the last episode we officially played the last battle mode available, so we have officially played all of the battle modes, which were Balloon Battle, Renegade Roundup, Bomb Blast, Coin Runners, and Shine Thief. We didn't necessarily win all of them, but it doesn't really matter if we win the battle modes as we don't get anything for playing them. We just played them for fun. So we played through all of them, and that's all we're going to be showing for battle mode. And today, we're going to be moving into the next mode available in the game, which is the time trials. So when we play time trials, unlike regular races or battle modes, we're not really trying to win. We're just trying to get our fastest time possible. But there is a little bit of a new thing that's been added into this game that I'll talk about later when we get to it. For now, we have to pick our character. I'll just go with Lemmy. And I want to go with a combo that has higher acceleration. And while that seems like it wouldn't be all too helpful, because when we're doing time trials, we're not going to be running into walls or anything like that, seeing as there are no computers to hit us with items and there's no green shells, we're just going to be driving around. I think the acceleration, in my opinion, is more helpful than the speed. So let's just go with a light combo like the pipe frame and the standard tires, and the glider doesn't matter too much. Let's just go with the super glider. We can go with this. It's a pretty low speed, high acceleration, high handling combo, which are the combos that I generally prefer. And the thing with time trials is that it's just like a regular race, but instead of doing a Grand Prix where we play all 4 courses, we just play them one at a time. As you can see, we can just select any course. And the first one is Mario Kart Stadium, obviously. Now, as you may see here, there's a big screen. It might be a little bit overwhelming at first. We could do a solo race. We could race against a ghost. We could view ghosts. We can see ghosts online. And we can upload ghost data, our ghost data, online so that other people can race against our ghosts or view them. And we can also switch between 150cc, which is represented by the blue, and 200cc, which is represented by the red. So, what we're going to be doing is for every single course you can see here, every single course, including the DLC courses for the base Mario Kart 8 and the DLC courses for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we're going to be doing the time trials for them. And this is probably going to take a long time, so I'm going to combine them into a little bit bigger episodes. So as you may notice, today's episode is longer than the usual 15-20 minute episodes we have. And in today's episode, I'm planning to do the first 4, the Nitro Tracks, we could call them, as they are original to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which are all the courses in the Mushroom Cup, the Flower Cup, the Star Cup, and the Special Cup. So that's 16 courses in all. Hopefully it won't be too long. It will be definitely a longer episode than usual, but I don't think it'll be too unbearable. And if it is too long for you, you can always click off the episode whenever you want. So we're going to be starting with the Mushroom Cup on Mario Kart Stadium, and we will not be doing solo races, but we will be racing against the ghosts, as Nintendo has provided a ghost for every single course. Here we have Nintendo Chris, with a time of 1 minute, 53 seconds, and 191 milliseconds. Our goal is to beat this time. We're not going to be able to interact with him. It's just going to be like following us at the same time on the same track. So basically our goal is to just beat him. It's like a race. It's like a regular race, but it's a 1v1. It's relatively simple. I don't know how much further I need to explain it. It's just a race against one other ghost with no interaction. So here we go. First course, Mario Kart Stadium. Let's see if we're able to beat the ghost. So we have to beat Nintendo Chris. That's our goal. It doesn't matter if we beat him on the first lap or if the second lap. All that matters is that we're ahead of him on the third lap. We're also given 3 mushrooms that we can use to take shortcuts. We could use them to take shortcuts. We could use them to just get up to max speed. We can use them in any way we want, and we're given 3 mushrooms. We could use one for each lap, or we could use them all on the same lap. Everything is up to us. We get to make all the decisions. And time trials are a very good way to practice a course. Let's say you're very bad at like Bowser's Castle, for example, and you want to practice it. Time trials is a very effective way to do so. Let's say there's a really difficult shortcut that you're not good at and you want to get better at it. Time trials is once again a very effective way to do so. So, if you want to practice and you don't have too much time and you can't play through a Grand Prix, time trials is a very good way to practice. This would be my recommendation on the best way to practice playing Mario Kart. Here we go. We can take this shortcut here. And when we head into the final lap, you'll notice that there's a little timer. It says we're minus 1 second and 915 milliseconds. That shows how much faster we are compared to the Ghost. If we were behind the Ghost, it would say plus 1 second or something like that, as we would be 1 second behind them. Or rather, they would be 1 second ahead of us. And we are 1 second ahead of them, so they are negative 1 second behind them. So that kind of indicates how far ahead you are compared to the Ghost, which is another thing that makes it very helpful to see how well you're playing. Here we go, we're rounding the final lap, and there we go, we won against Nintendo Chris on Mario Kart Stadium. Now we just gotta do this for the next 15 courses. So here we go, it also shows our time for each lap. We will progressively get faster on each lap, because we'll have more coins, and more coins will make us go faster. So the first lap will generally be our slowest, and the second lap will be our second slowest, and the third lap should generally be the fastest. So there we go. Congratulations. Do you want to upload your new Ghost data? I am not going to upload the Ghost data because that is not something that I'm too interested in. And I always have the opportunity to retry if I want to improve my time and get a better time. But I'm not too concerned about being super perfect. My concern is just beating the Nintendo Ghosts. So we're going to go to the next course, which is Water Park. And here we're going to be racing against a baby Luigi being Nintendo Messim. Here we go. Let's see if we can do it. A 2-minute time. So once again, we have 3 mushrooms. Everything is the same. It's just a different course. We got to see if we're able to beat this guy. And you might be wondering, what's the point of us doing this? We've already played these courses a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. We've done each of these courses 3 times, plus the DLC courses. There's 96 total courses, and we've done them 3 times. That means we've done them over 270 times. We've done over 270 races in this game. Well, the reason we're doing this is because there's a special item we unlock once we complete all the staff ghosts. So there is a reason that we're doing this. I'm not going to spoil what it is yet, but it's very important to 100% the game. It is a necessary item. And obviously, I want to 100% this game, so we got to do these ghosts. So there we go. We're 486 milliseconds ahead of them. Here's a shortcut that we can take again. Unfortunately, Water Park, unlike Mario Kart Stadium, it only has 1 shortcut. So the shortcuts aren't very interesting. We don't really have a choice for any, like, optimal paths. There's only really 1 optimal path for our shortcut, which is that 1 shortcut. Because otherwise we'd be going around it, and there's no point to really use the mushroom anywhere else. So it's a little bit less interesting than Mario Kart Stadium. We don't have as many different opportunities, but we are very far ahead of this Nintendo staff ghost. We're doing a very good job. We're going to be approaching the end. I don't think there's any way we can screw it up. I certainly hope not. I'm just going to take this shortcut again, just like we did on all 3 laps, and then we'll be heading towards the end. There we go. We won once again with a new record. It's always going to say new record because this is our first time doing any of the time trials. So every single time we play, it will be a new record. So there we go. We beat Nintendo Messim. Let's move on to the next race. So the next course we're doing is Sweet Sweet Canyon, and we're going to be racing against Nintendo Fasuti? Fosti? I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. Anyways, we'll just race against them with a time of 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Let's see if we can beat them. Try and get as many coins as we can. Generally, getting coins is a good strategy. Sometimes it's worth it to go for those coins, but those coins over there on the wide turn, it's not worth to take those coins because it's a really big detour to get those coins, and they don't give you too much speed. Coins do give you a speed boost, but it's not a super huge speed boost. So if you have to go out of your way to get those coins, it's not worth it. You want to go for the coins that are on the path. For example, this coin, it's on the path that we're already taking, so we might as well go for it. There's no loss to go for that coin. Unfortunately, I screwed up that shortcut very badly, so I actually lost time instead of gaining time. So now I am 1 second behind Nintendo Fasuti. So that's why it says +1, because the Nintendo Ghost is 1 second ahead of me. Which is not a good thing, because we want to win. Because we will not get that reward if we play every single Nintendo Ghost. We have to actually beat them in the race. And obviously, I want to get that reward, so we have to beat this person. Let's see if we can take the shortcut better this time. Hopefully we don't crash into the donut. We did bump into it a little bit, and we have caught up a big distance. Oh no, oopsies, I didn't mean to drive through the off-road. But it wasn't the best. I did hit the wall a little bit, or the edge of the donut, you could say. So I gotta hope that I can catch up this final lap. But fortunately, the computer, or the Nintendo Staff Ghost, takes that turn really wide for some reason. I guess they don't want to make it too difficult to beat, because obviously, it would be very frustrating just doing these races over and over again, trying to be perfect. The Staff Ghosts aren't really supposed to be a super difficult challenge. They're just supposed to be like a little guidance to kind of show you where the shortcuts of the courses are. So like if you don't know where the shortcut is, you could watch the Ghost. It'll show you some of the best shortcuts, or just any shortcuts, and it'll help you improve. That's kind of the whole point of these ghosts. It's not to be difficult, it's to be able to hone your abilities. So there we go, we beat the third ghost. Once again, we're not going to be uploading the ghost data, because there's really no point. So here we are, the final course, or I guess the final race of the Mushroom Cup. It's kind of confusing. It really doesn't matter. They're just organized this way so you could see how it's laid out in a normal Grand Prix. We're going to be racing against Nintendo Sophia. Let's see how we can do. So we're going to instantly be taking a shortcut right over here. Just like that. It's a pretty big shortcut, and the Nintendo Ghost does not go for that shortcut, weirdly enough. I don't know where else they might be saving their mushroom for. Maybe there's some bigger shortcut on this track that I don't know of. But I'm pretty sure that's the only, like, big mushroom shortcut. All of the other shortcuts you can do without a mushroom. So we're going to be heading up to another shortcut up here. Normally, I probably would avoid this with this big of a lead, but this is time trials, and we want to get the fastest time possible. So obviously, going for that no mushroom shortcut every lap will be in our best interest. There we go. We're 3 seconds ahead of this ghost. I guess taking this shortcut does save a huge amount of time. Unfortunately, I went crashing into the wall, so I lost a bit of time. But we're going to go up here. I'm not sure if it's faster or not. I don't know if it is, but there are a lot of coins, and obviously getting more coins will make us go faster. So that's why we're going up there. Here we go. This time, let's try and avoid that upper path. Maybe it'll be faster, maybe not. I don't really know. But it seems that Nintendo Sophia has caught up to us. So maybe they just used that on mushroom in like a straight section or something? I'm not really sure. I can't really tell because I'm farther ahead of them, so I can't see what they're doing. We're heading into the final lap of Thwomp Ruins. We're only 1.9 seconds ahead of them this time. Interesting. And they do seem to be catching up, which is a little bit concerning. But a glider ramp has opened up here. If I can just slip past there and not get hit by the rolling gear. I can take this glider ramp. There we go. I think that's faster. I'm not actually sure. This time trials will be a very good area. To be able to determine what path is faster and what's not faster. But I don't have the time for that. I gotta beat Donkey Kong. So hopefully they don't catch up. I don't think that they have a mushroom save, so I'm pretty sure we won. And that was a little bit sloppy, especially falling off at the end, but I'm not going for like a world record time trial. I'm just going to beat these ghosts, so it doesn't matter too much. My only goal is to beat these guys, not to get a world record. So there we go. We beat the 4th ghost, and now we'll be moving on to the next cup, which is the Flower Cup. So here we go. We're starting off with Mario Circuit. Pretty simple, and would you look at that? We're playing against Mario on Mario Circuit. Nintendo show. Let's see how this guy does. Let's try and get some of these coins. Obviously, always a good strategy at the start to get the easy coins, extra speed. And we can take this shortcut right over here, save ourselves some time. It seems that the Nintendo Ghost did not choose to do that. Maybe they're saving their mushroom for a different shortcut that comes up later on the course. I'm not really sure. But if they do pass us really quickly all of a sudden, that would probably be the answer. As there is another really big shortcut right up here. But I'm not going to take this shortcut, as I already took one shortcut this lap. I can't take 2, because then on either lap 2 or lap 3, I would have no mushrooms to take a shortcut. And I want to balance each lap to take one shortcut, as I think that's generally the best strategy. Here we go. We're going to skip this shortcut this time, as we took it on lap 1, and I want to show off the other shortcut, because time trials is a very good way to practice all the shortcuts. And obviously, practicing is a very good way to get better at the game. So we're going to avoid that shortcut and take the one up here. I'm not sure which one's faster. I know that they're both shortcuts, so they both save time. But I don't know which one is better, per se. But it doesn't really matter to me, as you can see, we have a huge lead. A 5-second lead against the Staff Ghost. Which 5 seconds might not seem very much, but in Mario Kart, 5 seconds is a huge deal. Even like 1 second is a huge deal. The fact that we've got a 5-second lead on this ghost is giant. Here we go, we're gonna head up and take this shortcut again, just because I forgot to take the other one. But it doesn't really matter which shortcut we take, in my opinion, as they're both shortcuts, they both save time. There we go, flying to the end. We beat another Nintendo Staff Ghost, and we're almost halfway. This is actually, we're more like a third of the way through. We've completed 5 out of 16. It's going by a lot faster than I was expecting it to, honestly. But I guess having no cutscenes and like no course overviews does speed it up quite a lot. So here we go. Next course we're doing Toad Harbor, and we're racing against Toadette, which I find kind of weird. We're fighting. We're not fighting. Would you call it fighting? Fighting, racing, probably racing. Anyways, we're racing against Nintendo Alice. It's weird that it's a Toadette. You'd think it would be a Toad, because it's Toad Harbor, but no, it's Toadette. Bizarre. Here we go. Toad Harbor is a very interesting course because it has a lot of split paths you could take. Like, there's a shortcut right there you could take, and there's a path over here you can take which has some coins, which is why I'm going to be taking it. I don't know if it's faster or not. I don't really know all the optimal paths in Mario Kart. The one thing I do know is that this path up here is much faster. Generally, the reason you wouldn't go up here, as there's always a reason why you wouldn't take the faster path, because otherwise everyone would just take the faster path. The reason why I wouldn't take that is because if you only get 1 item. However, if you take the other path, you would get 2 items. So it's kind of like a speed versus item situation. But in time trials, there are no items. So there's no reason to take the other path. As you can see, the Nintendo Ghost took it just like I did. We were right beside each other. So it's interesting to see the kind of difference between racing strategies and time trial strategies. So just because you practice a lot in time trials doesn't necessarily mean you'll be really good at the regular races, as there are a lot of different factors. For example, no items bouncing around, and you just get 3 mushrooms to take all the shortcuts with. So it's a very different experience. Here we go, we're going to head up to this faster path once again. Unfortunately, in time trials, the coins do not respawn, which is very sad. But I guess it's done so you can't really like take all the same coins over and over again, because otherwise there would be no point to take the wider path coins if you could just take all the coins that are in the straight line. Here we go, we now have maximum coins. This trolley is in the way of the shortcut. Very annoying, very unfortunate. That probably wasn't a good idea to do, but I did it anyways. And we are 3 seconds ahead of this ghost. It's nice to see we've got a big lead. I don't think we'll be losing this unless something really bad happens. But I think we have this in the bag. There we go, taking the faster path once again. It's very easy. It's not too difficult. You just have to know that it's there. I always have to make sure to take the tightest turns, because the tighter the turn you take, you save more time. So it's always good to hug as close as you can to the wall. But you don't want to hit the wall, because then if you hit the wall, you'll lose a lot of speed. So it's a risk versus a reward. How tight do you want to take the turn? Because the tighter you take the turn, as I said, you go faster. But if you bump into the wall, you lose your speed, and then it's not worth it. So there we go. We beat Nintendo Alice by quite a large amount, actually. 8 seconds. So there we go. Once again, I'm going to be saying no. I wish there's an option to just, like, default to not uploading your ghost data. Because it's quite annoying every time I do the time trial. I have to say no that I don't want to upload the ghost data. So the next course, we're doing Twisted Mansion. It's going to be a race against Luigi of Nintendo Mark. But you know what? It's fitting that it's Luigi, because Luigi's always in lots of spooky, scary mansions. So it makes sense that we'd be racing against Luigi. So it looks like Nintendo Mark, or the Luigi, will be taking the right path, while I'm taking the left path. We'll get to see which path is faster, if there's a difference at all. Looks like the right path is faster. There is a shortcut here that, interestingly enough, the Nintendo Ghost is not taken. I don't really know of any other shortcuts, except for the one at the end. There is an ending shortcut that you could take through the grass. So maybe the Nintendo Ghost is saving it for there, or maybe they're just going to use their mushrooms in the straightaway. I don't really know what their plan is. After all, unless I want to analyze and watch every single ghost without racing against them, which in my opinion is a little bit of a waste of time, I'm not going to know what they're doing. Unfortunately, I bumped into the wall, so now I can't see them. And yes, they do indeed take that shortcut. In my opinion, I think it's a worse shortcut than the bookcase shortcut. I am now a second behind them. And we'll be able to see how much I catch up through this bookcase shortcut. Oh, no, I won't, because they are taking the shortcut this lap. Interesting. So it seems that the staff ghosts aren't supposed to be a difficult competition, but more of a guidance to show you all the different shortcuts. As so far, he's taken a different shortcut and a different path each lap. So I think there's supposed to be more of like a guidance and a tutorial rather than like a competition. Which, you know what, it would make sense. If there's someone who doesn't know how to play the game, watching somebody else play is a very effective way to learn. Probably a lot of the viewers who are watching my video right now are trying to learn how to play Mario Kart. So once again, behind them. This time we're only 6 milliseconds behind them, or 600 milliseconds, depending on the way you want to look at it. And instead of a minute and 600 milliseconds. And he is not taking the bookcase shortcut, so I'm presuming he is going to save it for the ending grass shortcut. So I got to make sure I'm a little bit ahead of him, so that he doesn't pass me at the last second. So hopefully we have this in the bag. I'm not sure that we do. I gotta be careful. It looks like we do. He was too far behind to catch up. So there we go. We beat Nintendo Mark. What was our time? Okay, we beat him by a solid 2 seconds. It's nice to see. And no, I'm not uploading my ghost data. I've already said no 7 times already. I'm not gonna change my mind midway through. The final course we're doing for the Flower Cup, Shy Guy Falls. We're obviously racing against Shy Guy, Nintendo Frank. Let's see how we do. So we're off to a equal start, I suppose you could say. I'm not getting the best rocket starts, which is a little bit unfortunate. I could be doing quite a bit better on that part. That would be a way to improve. And yikes, I almost went flying off the track there. That would have been bad. but we seem to be quite a bit ahead of him. And this course has a lot of coins on it, so you don't need to go out of your ways for those bonus coins. It's not worth it on this track. So I'm going to be staying on this little bottom path here, as there's a shortcut coming up, and it's a lot easier to take it if you're on the bottom path. Here we go, over a jump, over a cliff. Quite scary if you think about it, especially compared to all the other shortcuts we've been taking. That's definitely the most dangerous one so far. But it is exceptionally worth it, as we're 2.6 seconds ahead of him. There we go, we're now maxed out on coins, so this is the fastest we could possibly be going. Try to hit as many speed boosts as possible to obviously go as fast as possible. So we're once again going to be taking the same shortcut. This is by far the biggest shortcut on this course. None of the other shortcuts really can compare to it at all. Here we go. And now we're heading into the final lap. Look at that, we're 6 seconds ahead of the Ghost. That's insane. He must not be taking the shortcuts or something, because otherwise how could he be so far behind? Maybe it's too difficult for Nintendo Frank. Yikes, almost fell off there. That would have been scary. But there we go. We did a very good job. We're officially halfway through all the Nitro Tracks. There we go. We beat him by 9 seconds. That is insane. Wow. Now we're moving on to the Star Cup, starting with Sunshine Airport. And we're racing against Nintendo Leonel. Okay, let's see how we do. A little bit better of a rocket start, but not as good as I would hope. Now, Sunshine Airport's an oh my goodness, I hit the box. The Sunshine Airport's an interesting course, and it's got a lot of different shortcuts, but none of them are really all that big, except for this shortcut down here. That is by far the biggest shortcut on this course. I'm gonna go wide for the coins, which is normally something I would suggest not to do, especially since I missed almost all the coins and I only got one of them. But that shortcut is really big, and having more coins will make me go faster with my mushroom, so I think it was worth it, if it wasn't for the fact that I missed all the coins. But this course has a lot of shortcuts that you can kind of do without a mushroom. Like there's one over here through these crates, where you can do a trick and jump through there and cut off a little bit of the corner, which it seems like the computer also does, the Nintendo Ghost, which good job for them showing everybody that shortcut. And I'm doing exceptionally bad. I'm bumping into like every wall possible. I should be ashamed of myself. So once again, we're gonna hop down here, take this really big shortcut, which it seems like the Ghost does not take. I'm presuming he takes the smaller shortcuts like that one over there. Yes, he does, because I saw him jump into the air. But it's interesting how they don't take the best shortcuts. You would think that they would. But I guess they want to be a little bit of like an easier, since they are supposed to be a tutorial for the players that aren't as experienced, which I can respect. Oops, I drifted the wrong way. I don't know how that happened. Here we go, we're gonna jump through here again. And we're now ahead of them by 1.8 seconds. So I know it's kind of boring taking the same shortcut every lap, especially since there's a shortcut over there to the left off the little ramp we could take, but that shortcut off of there cuts off such a small amount of time, it's barely even worth taking. Here we go. The final shortcut. I hit the box that time, so it was a little bit slower. But it doesn't matter, because we won against this Nintendo Staff Ghost. Alright, so next up, we're doing Dolphin Shoals against Nintendo Skip. There we go, a better startup boost, that's for sure. So I'm not going to go for those coins, because it is better to take a tighter turn here, even if I do lose out on a few coins. And I'm taking the riskier path for no reason, because I don't actually know if it's faster. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not really sure. Let's try and stay on the eel, because you get a lot of speed, as you can see by Nintendo's Skip passing me, because I fell off and didn't get very many trick boosts. You can get a lot of trick boosts there, which increase your speed, and you get a lot of coins, so staying on the eel is very beneficial. Here we go, we're going to take this relatively simple shortcut, which Nintendo Skip also does. It's the really only kind of shortcut on this track. It's not very big, and I'm losing quite a lot because I got stuck on the off-road. Very unfortunate for me. So let's try and get a few more coins. I'm not going to go for those really wide coins because they're just not worth going for. It's better to get coins on the eel or coins on these separate paths. Here we go. If I can get 2 more coins, I'll be max speed. There we go. Max speed. I just got to catch up because Nintendo Skip is very far ahead, and I don't like that. Here we go, final lap. He's a minute and a half ahead, or not a minute and a half. That would be outrageous. He's a second and a half ahead of me. Still not a fan of that. I need to find a way to pass him. I don't know how. They're just ahead of me. What do I do? I just gotta hope he like screws up really badly or something. Oh, I'm catching up. I don't know how I caught up, but I did. Ooh, that was close. I did not like how close that was. But there we go. We win once again. A new record. That was really close. I don't know what happened at the end. Maybe they like slowed down or something. Yeah, because that third lap for the Nintendo Skip was so much like shorter than the second lap. Look at the time, 43 seconds versus 45 seconds. Something must have happened to them. But you know what? I'll take it because it allowed me to pass them at the very end. Now we're moving on to Electrodrome. We're nearly at the end of the Star Cup, going against Nintendo Yuya. See how we do. So Electrodrome is a course I'm not the best at, per se. I don't really know where the shortcuts are, except for one at the very end. That's the only one I know of. I'm pretty sure that there are more shortcuts, but I don't really know of them. So I'm going to be kind of learning from the Nintendo staff ghost a little bit, presuming that they pass me. Because if they don't pass me, I can't see what path they take and what shortcuts they take. So I don't know how this is going to play out. It might be just like a regular race and I might just win, or I might actually lose. We'll have to see. So as I said, the only shortcut I know of right over here is this little patch of maybe not grass, but whatever this stuff is, like glitter or whatever. But it seems that the computer is even worse than I am, because they're much farther behind. So maybe I shouldn't be too hard on myself. Maybe I'm actually really good at this course and I just don't know it. Let's take this path this time so that we can get these coins over here. Oh no! Oh, that was a very bad shortcut. Ooh, that was awful. And the Nintendo Ghost has caught him quite a bit because of that blunder. I gotta be on my heels here. Or I gotta be very cautious here. He is on my heels. That's what I meant to say. Oh, no, 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 no! Oh! Ooh, that's really bad. I'm gonna use my mushroom to get myself up to top speed. I know it's not the most optimal, but I need to be able to get up to top speed. Uh-oh. Ooh, that's really bad. I think that means we just lost. I don't think there's a way I'm gonna be catching up. I don't have a mushroom to take the shortcut, and he does. Yeah, there we go. We lost our first ghost. Ooh. But it's a new record. But it doesn't matter because we lost. So we have to do that again. Very unfortunate. I screwed up at the very end. I'm gonna not upload the ghost, and I have to actually retry this, which is unfortunate. But you know what? It's more practice for Electrodrome, so it's not a bad thing. So we're quite a far ways ahead of the ghost, which is good, just in case something bad happens, like on the last lap where I slip up. I gotta have a lot of extra leeway. No, 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 no. Okay, I'm getting a little bit close. Maybe I should stay a little bit farther away from the edge. I know it is slightly slower, but it's a big deal if I fall off. So just play a little bit safer and not hit that pipe like I did just now, and lose basically all of my lead. So the ghost somehow got ahead of me. I don't know how that happened, but I don't like it. So let's just follow this ghost for a little bit. Let's see what it does. Just drives pretty normally. And does some drifting, so it seems to be a pretty good teacher. Just it basically plays the track the way I do. Except for the falling off part. We're not going to count that. And I'm presuming it also takes the shortcut, correct? Yep, it does. I hit the pipe again. Okay, not good. But I noticed that the ghost takes the shortcut a lot wider than I do. It tries to cut off a little bit less. So maybe I should just, like, just do it safer. So, like, I think I'm trying to bite off more than I can chew. That might be the problem. I have too high expectations of myself. So let's go this way. Follow the ghost again. See what it does. There you go, take a little bit of a sharper turn. So I'll be able to catch up. That's what we like to see. Once again, taking a sharper turn so I can pass him. Very nice. Now, just take the shortcut nice and easy. Don't run into the pipe. There we go. I ran into the pipe at the end, but that didn't matter. We won. It only took 2 tries. So final race in the Star Cup, Mount Wario. We're doing it against Waluigi, Nintendo Elena. Where's Wario? It's Mount Wario. Why are we racing against Waluigi? This doesn't make sense. I'm just confused. Mount Wario. You'd think we'd be racing against Wario. It's his mountain after all. This is like on Toad's Harbor when we raced against Toadette. This doesn't make sense at all. But you know what? Whatever. I guess we're racing against Waluigi on Mount Wario. Still weird. But anyways, this is a really long track, as you can tell by the mini-map. It's also the first track in this game that we've encountered so far, if we're going by order, that is a section-based track instead of a lap track. So instead of doing the same lap 3 or more times, or less times, we only take like 1 lap. It's just 1 lap of a really long track. As such, we can't take the 1 mushroom shortcut per lap, because not every lap has a mushroom shortcut. So for example, as you saw on the first lap, I didn't take a mushroom shortcut because there was no mushroom shortcut to take. So on the second or third lap, I might be taking multiple mushroom shortcuts. Or I might just end up having to use my mushroom in like a random straightaway. Who knows? But so far, I am ahead of Waluigi, which is a very good thing. And we're heading into this pretty difficult forest section. But there is a shortcut we can take to make it quite a bit easier. We just go over here, take a mushroom through the trees, and there's a glider. And we can just fly to safety. Avoid the trees! Alright, here we go, the final lap. We're 4 seconds ahead of the ghost. And I'm bumping into all the walls. This is a very bad thing to do. This is not what you should do. Now, we have 2 mushrooms left, and as you can see up ahead, we're at the end of the track. There's only 1 shortcut left, so I'm just going to use the mushroom at the straightaway. Even though it's not a good idea, this course only had, from what I could see, 2 mushroom shortcuts. So we had to use one of those mushrooms at the end just to gain extra speed. Which is not a bad thing, that's its intent, but it's better to use the mushrooms first at the shortcuts if you can. So there we go, we won, now that we only have 4 courses left. So we're doing the Special Cup, which are the last cups that the last cup that we're doing, the last 4 races, which is after we finish Rainbow Road. It's where we'll be ending it off. And then in the next episode, we'll be doing the next 4 cups, which will be the Shell Cup, the Banana Cup, the Leaf Cup, and the Lightning Cup, as those are all the retro cups, which are courses that came from older games. So starting off with the Special Cup, Cloud Top Cruise, we are racing against Nintendo Maria, a baby Rosalina. Let's see how it goes. Now, Cloud Top Cruise is an interesting course, because it doesn't have a mushroom shortcut, per se. You could go over here and take a little bounce, but that doesn't use a mushroom. So where do we use our mushrooms? Well, the Staff Ghost uses the mushroom in a very bizarre place that I think doesn't make sense. And we'll talk about it later when we get to it. I'm just going to use the mushroom here to get a burst of speed. So I think it's a good spot to use it. But the Staff Ghost uses the mushroom on a shortcut that you don't need a mushroom for. The Staff Ghost just uses its mushroom over here, over that shortcut. Which I don't know if it actually speeds you up, because when you're on that shortcut and you're doing the tricks, you're already getting a speed boost. So I don't know if the mushroom also gets added on top of the speed boost of the tricks. I'm not sure how it works exactly. You would have to ask a Mario Kart expert. I'm not a Mario Kart expert, I'm just a Mario Kart player. There's a difference. Here we go, I'll just be using my mushroom once again after I land to get a little boost of speed. Final lap. We're 4 seconds ahead of the Ghost, which is pretty good. It's not as good as that one time we got 9 seconds ahead of the Ghost. But you know, 4 seconds is still extremely good. Let's go this way this time, because both the other times I'm pretty sure I went to the right. Let's take a little different path. There we go, use the mushroom. That was close. I thought I was going to get lightning for sure, but I just barely squeezed out that speed boost. That was very risky of me, and I probably shouldn't have risked it, but it worked out. There we go. Another first place. It's nice to see. Or I guess not first place. Well, it technically is first place. Would you count this as a first place, or would this be a win? Because there's 2 of us. It says we win. but we technically get first place. I don't know, the technicalities of it. You could say it's first place because you win and you get first and not second. But you could also say it's not first place as you just win. Anyways, let's stop talking about that. We're going against Nintendo Elena, Bone Dry Dunes. There we go, Bone Dry Dunes, one of my less favorite courses, we should say. Definitely not my least favorite. That would be either Mario Circuit 3 or, what was it called? Dry Desert. But this definitely falls under the categories of courses I don't enjoy all that much. I don't know why, I just don't like it. It just doesn't give me the kind of vibe that I want from it. Ow! I got hit by the bone piranha plant. Very unfortunate. I lose a lot of time and some coins, which is extra speed. And I also get set back to like base 0 speed. I have to accelerate all over again, which is not good. That's actually a huge loss of time. But somehow, even after getting bitten, we're still ahead of the Nintendo Staff Ghost. Well, not anymore. But we were ahead of the Nintendo Staff Ghost. Ow. I just bumped into the wall. So last time we went to the right, let's go to the left this time. I see that the Nintendo Staff Ghost has the exact same idea. This path seems to be ridiculously harder for absolutely no reason. Super twisty and turny. It's got lots of bone piranha plants on it. I don't know why anyone would take that path over the much easier path. There is a shortcut over here that we can take and zoom through those bones. I didn't take it the best, and the Staff Ghost did it much better than me. But it's there, and I knew it was there. I've just been ignoring it because I took that shortcut the first lap, so I didn't want to take 2 shortcuts in the same lap. Oh, not doing too well. The Staff Ghost is right on my tail. Now they're ahead of me. Now I'm on their tail, and I don't like that. Uh-oh. I hope I don't lose. But it looks like I lost. Womp womp. Second lost in today's episode. That's too bad. We'll just have to try it again. Here we go. Second try on Bone Dry Dunes. Let's just try and do better on the ending shortcut. Because I think if I'd done better on that shortcut on the second and third lap, I think I would have won. And also maybe if I'd just taken that shortcut on the first lap. Because this shortcut up here, even though it does give us 2 coins and a truck boost and some extra speed, I don't think it's all that faster. And also probably getting bitten by the bone piranha plant was a big deal too on the first lap. That probably also added up to the reason why we lost. Alright, let's try and line up and take the shortcut. Maybe I can do it better. There we go, that was much better. Now we're 3 seconds ahead of the Staff Ghost. This is a much more comfortable position to be in. Try and get these coins this time, or I could just miss them completely, and I'm just going to take this path every single lap. So even though it's not as interesting as the other path, it's a lot safer and a lot easier, and I think also faster too. So I don't really see a point to take the other path. Here we go, final lap. We're 5 seconds ahead of the Ghost, doing much better this time. Let's see, can we get any of these coins this time? There we go, we got 1 or 2 of them. Better than the 0 from the previous laps. Alright, here we go. I don't think we can lose this time. I think even if we screw up, I think we're good. There we go. We won this time. It only took 2 tries, just like with Electrodrome. But we won. Just 2 courses left for this episode. The penultimate course that we're going to be doing, Bowser's Castle. Of course, racing against Bowser, who is Nintendo Poly. So the gates open dramatically as we're welcomed in. It's Bowser's Castle. I don't know. He might win. He has the home turf advantage. So it might be a little bit more hard. I don't know. So far, it seems to not be the case. We're doing quite well. Okay, avoid his fist. It's hard to avoid his fist because it takes up like the whole track. I'll have to use a mushroom to get back up the top speed, unfortunately. So, no shortcut for this lap. So, Nintendo Poly is, of course, ahead of us. The shortcut in this course is pretty small. It's just right there. It's not really the most cool, epic shortcut you'd expect from an amazing Bowser's Castle course. We're now 2 seconds behind them. We've got to avoid laser beams now. Please don't punch me off again. Oh, we just barely made it through. That's a tight squeeze, that's for sure. Alright, we've nearly caught up to Nintendo Poly. Have we passed them? Oh, we did! How did we pass you? Maybe we have more coins or something, because we do have 10 coins. But anyways, we're just barely ahead of them. One simple screw up and we're definitely losing. So we gotta be careful. Can't even see them anymore. I think we have this in the bag. We're pretty far ahead. Far enough ahead that we can't see them. Uh-oh. Maybe I shouldn't talk too soon. Maybe I shouldn't talk too soon. Wait till we finish the race. Okay, there we go. We won. Only 1 more time trial left. And of course, it's going to be Rainbow Road. Final race for today. Rainbow Road against Pinkled Peach. That's an interesting character. Anyways, Nintendo Mazio. Let's see how you do. Will we be better than you? I don't know. There we go. The intense finale for today. Because obviously, we still have more time trials to do. Much more time trials to do. But this is the final Nitro Grand Prix time trial. It's the last original Mario Kart 8 Deluxe course. Then we'll be doing the remixes, not the remixes, well you could call them remixes. The retros, as they're called. We'll be doing the retro Grand Prix in the next episode. And then after that, we'll be doing the DLC for Mario Kart 8. Wow, I didn't even know you could do that. That is cool, that's for sure. I don't even know where to use my mushrooms. Are there even any shortcuts on Rainbow Road? I don't know. And then after we do the DLCs for Mario Kart 8, we have to do the DLCs for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the Boosted Course Pass, which is also really big. And then we have to do that all again in 200cc. Yeah, it's a lot. I've still got all 3 of my mushrooms, and I really don't know what to do with them, so I'll just use one here for now, I suppose. And then we can do this cool jump that I discovered on the last lap. Very epic, and we're super far ahead of the Nintendo Ghost. Oh, be careful, don't fall off, don't fall off, don't fall off. Okay, we seem to be doing well. Yeah, well, we're 6.7 seconds ahead of them. Ooh, we're doing well. I suppose I could use one mushroom right there. Uh-oh. Move! Phew, fortunately we had such a big lead, it didn't matter. But if that was closer, that would have been awful. Well, I guess it could still matter if I, like, fall off or something bad happens, so I gotta be careful. But I think we have this one in the bag. There we go. The final Mario Kart 8 original time trial completed. Nice to see. So we're done for today's episode. There we go. So in the next episode, we will be continuing off where we left off. So we'll be stopping from the Special Cup and be heading back to the Shell Cup in the next episode. But this is where we're going to wrap it up for today's episode of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.